Hello fellow IPCSA members and guests, my name is Bouari, CEO of One Stop, talking to you from down under, Australia. It's really cold here, it's hit winter down here, and I would have really loved to be over there in the summertime in Europe, but especially catching up with the good friends I made last time I was there at last year's conference. And for those of you that don't know me, this is what I get up to on the weekends, feeding the wildlife. But back to what I'm here to talk to you about. I'm here to give you a quick update of what's happening in the Asia Pacific region around the port community system space. To kick off this update, I'll start with the agenda. I'm going to go through APEC. What is APEC? I'll be covering the track and trace initiative that was launched last year, which is the PCS to PCS, and how we're bringing on New Zealand and China. That's pretty exciting. I'll give you an update on the Philippines, and I'll give a small update on Australia. So what is APEC? APEC is a premium Asia Pacific Economic Forum. The goal is to support sustainable economic growth and prosperity. Their drive is to build a dynamic and harmonious Asia Pacific community, to champion free and open trade and investment, promoting and accelerating regional economic integration, and encouraging economic and technical cooperation. I liken APEC similar to the European Union. There are 21 members signed up to APEC, and you can see them on your screen now. Within APEC, since 2007, they've been heavily promoting the single window. Australia was a key leader in driving this initiative, and now there are 14 countries adopting some form of a single window, with the remaining 7 countries to be on the single window by 2020. APEC works under the construct of 3 pillars: the trade and investment, the business facilitation, and the economic and technical cooperation. So what do all these mean? Okay, the trade and investment is all about how to reduce tariff and non-tariff barriers to trade and investment, how to boost job creation, income and growth, how members can collaborate and drive advancements of bilateral and regional trade agreements with the long-term goal of free trade area in the Asia Pacific. The next pillar, business facilitation, is all about reducing time, cost and uncertainty of doing business in the region and opening new economic opportunities for small firms, women and youth. The other goal is to improve the market access and efficiency and ultimately safeguarding of health and safety. The third one, economic and technical cooperation, is all about building the technical capability of APEC's very diverse members and to promote trade, investment and robust, secure and sustainable economic growth that widely benefits the region's people. Their key priorities are strengthening anti-corruption, cross-border education, skills and training, just to name a few. So under the pillar of trade and investment, in November 2014, the APEC leaders agreed to launch an initiative called the Asia Pacific Model E-Port Network, APMEN. The key objective of that was to advance ICT capability and promote trade facilitation and supply chain optimization in APEC region. Another one is to identify solutions and enabling environment to enhance transparency of logistics and regulatory issues through data, interconnectivity and interoperability to improve logistics. And the other two is basically to enhance the coordination amongst border agencies and to promote public-private partnership funding arrangements. As early as this month, the members met in the Philippines and agreed the framework for this initiative. The next steps is another meeting in Shanghai coming up in August, and they're welcoming the public-private partnerships to participate. And they're also looking to run a case study. And Australia is considering being part of running a case study. So I'll update you more about that in the coming months. So that was the APEC update. Next is the track and trace PCS to PCS and how we're taking that to New Zealand and China. So we've worked with Albert and Nico from Port Connect and Portic and Port of Antwerp on the PCS to PCS web service. We've been able to successfully implement it, and as you can see on your screen right now, this is in the test environment. I can show you that we've got, as an example, a container coming out of Barcelona, destined for Melbourne, Australia. So as you can see here, it's been gated into the terminal at on the 11th of January at 1 p.m. and loaded on the vessel on the 13th of January. And ultimately we've received an update that it's on the vessel as of the 8th of February. So this is an example where we're utilising the PCS to PCS information and starting to display that on our web screens to our customers. So most cargo heading from Europe to Australia generally gets transshipped through Asia. So we've been able to prove that the web service works. So as much as I love to track my olives from Spain, the reality is it's going to get transshipped through Singapore or Asia, and I'm going to lose that visibility at this stage. So I've decided to take the PCS to PCS standard that's been developed through IPCSA and talk to our neighbours, being New Zealand. There's a lot of import and export cargo that moves between our two countries. So we're working with a company called Port Connect to create that visibility across our borders, with the ultimate goal to start getting visibility from China. Now that's a great goal to have, and the goal could be a reality because we're working with a company that's working with government there called Ecom, and I'll tell you a bit more about them in a second. Firstly, a little bit about Port Connect. Port Connect are effectively the port community system serving the ports of Auckland and Tauranga, which are the two major ports in Auckland, in New Zealand, but there are other ports. They're effectively providing container status and movement, and we're working closely with them to provide that visibility through the PCS to PCS track and trace between Australia and New Zealand. The other exciting thing that we're working on here is we're collaborating with shipping lines on how we can triangulate containers between countries. Now, wouldn't it be great that there's no empty truck legs taking place, and there's an opportunity here that we're able to minimise that by triangulating those containers between Australia and New Zealand. I know the shipping lines are really excited about this initiative, and it's actually launching very soon between Australia and New Zealand later this month. Okay, a little bit about Ecom. If I take it back to China, if I focus just on the imports process into China, imports into China is a long and cumbersome process, which generally takes about 39 days, and it's quite complex. This is to organise all the administrative aspects of importing something into China. There's strict and complex customs regulations and multiple high tax rates. So Ecom have been focusing on making trade simple for foreign companies by utilising a recent trading channel created by the Central Chinese government called cross-border trade. If you look at the slide here, their objective is basically to provide an end-to-end import platform to shorten the import process, reduce the cost of import, and increase exposure to effectively and efficiently capture the China market. Now, Ecom's solution has already been able to reduce the administrative task from 39 days down to 12. That's a massive saving. Effectively, this is all they're trying to do. The Chinese consumers are utilising the platform to be able to access overseas suppliers, and this platform helps with the administrative aspects of doing that. In talking to Ecom recently, they've been able to capture 3 ports that have signed an MOU to take on this service, and another 3 ports are about to also sign something very soon. And by the end of the year, they're expecting to hopefully sign most of the ports. So there's a good contact that we're continuing our conversation and collaboration with, and ultimately we want to be able to utilise the PCS to PCS track and trace web service to start creating that visibility. Now that I've given you an update on the track and trace for PCS to PCS, I'd like to give you an update on the Philippines. Okay, you may have heard, but you may or may not have heard, but in the port of Manila in the Philippines, 2014 was a horrific year. They had some serious port congestion that actually grinded the city to a halt. Government stepped in and imposed a truck ban. Since August of last year, we have been working with the Manila port operators and government to manage congestion and provide a solution. As recent as May this month, it was announced that they will implement one-stop booking system in phase 1 and more PCS services in future phases. So it's really exciting to be part of that, and I'm sure it's going to make a difference for the Manila ports. So that was the update on the Philippines. Now I'll give you a quick update on Australia. We're all aware of the current form of PCS, which is what you're seeing on the screen now. We in Australia are now challenging this concept to leverage many portals and hubs that consolidate data so that we can achieve the ultimate holy grail. What is the holy grail, you may ask? To me, it's optimization across the whole supply chain. One business can, without too much effort, can optimize their own business because they have control of information and data. But if you're trying to optimize a transaction across a whole supply chain with many participants, that's where the challenge is, but also where the possibility becomes. With all the hubs collecting the data, true value is what you do with that data. So imagine a time when at the click of a button, you can move your cargo either the current way you do things or dynamically change that to make it the quickest way or the most economical way, saving you time and money. Whilst the people moving that cargo increase their density. So it's win-win for all. I see the next generation of a PCS being a network of hubs that share data through APIs, allowing for intelligent next best decisions to be made. For example, it will save importers and exporters money and increase a cargo mover's utilization. For example, if they're carrying cargo, a cargo parcel or a container from point A to point B, and all of a sudden dynamically another job pops up that's also from point A to point B and they have the capacity for that, then they're maximizing their utilization. This is a concept we're now starting to talk to a number of service providers within the Australian market to really tap into that. And the way I'm seeing this transpire is that there'll end up being an agreement framework where we have standards around the APIs to allow the network of hubs to achieve the next best decision. So that was a quick update on what's happening in the Asia Pacific region. I gave you a quick update on APEC, also what's happening with the track and trace and how we're testing that with New Zealand with the goal to ultimately test it with China. And I gave you an update on the Philippines and also what's happening in Australia. Love to hear from you. If you have any questions, please drop me an email. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of the conference. Bye-bye.